Okay, I want to do a little bit of book stuff. I brought my book that someone ordered, and I want to sign it. I want to put the numbers in, since they are like numbered by hand. So this is book number 933. Okay. 933. Every book is personally signed. I just wanted to do this to give a little bit back, you know. Yeah, let's check it again to see if everything's all right. If there are no printing errors or something like that. But it looks good. I've already browsed through it just a few days ago. Like, no, yesterday. But yeah, good morning, guys. For anyone that is joining us now. I want to get that book order packed so it can be picked up by DHL. They will come over maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but I want to have that thing ready for when it happens. So yeah, just wrap this around. Okay. All right, let's get this thing packed. I always try to pack my my orders in a way that they would survive everything, because I've seen some really terrible treatment, usually by the US Post Office, but I don't blame them. I mean, I see they are having issues. Hey, good morning. I see they have issues with their stuff. I'm sorry for the noise. I'm almost done. I just want to wrap up the book that someone ordered, so I can bring it on the way, send it on the way. Okay, so let's put that aside. I don't want to wrap the package on air because otherwise you guys would probably have problems with the ears because it's so loud. This is the cheaper package tape, and it was so cheap because it is so loud when you pack it. When you wrap something with it, it creates a noise that is unbearable if you're around it. So I'm not doing it on air. But yeah, I brought some additional stuff. I brought a fine liner so we can label yesterday's seeds that I packaged. I want to get all the seeds cleaned in the next months maybe. So yeah, labeling the seeds from the last season. This is from a cross between Gräsers Erfolg Selbstbestäubung and Cantora. Nice ruffled flowers. And yeah, I got 2 fruits on that plant, and I'm glad that we got seeds from it. So yeah, this we can move aside, but we missed a seed. I want to make an excuse and put it in. So yeah, okay. Next one. These are all cactus seeds from the last season, all with nice flowers and all. Hey Maria, good morning. Yeah, that's I mean, I need to look up what the father was of that cross. But I only used great fathers. So no matter what kind of a father it was good. When I make a cross, I try to only make crosses that I would personally sow out again. So yeah, I try to not do these crosses where they are going to be mediocre. Either the cross doesn't work, With these kinds of crosses where you feel like it's something unusual, the success rate is a lot lower. So you have a higher failure rate when you are attempting a cross between two very distant relatives. But I try to do these crosses because it's the kind of stuff that I like today personally. So yeah. This is a multi-hybrid by Uwe Kahle. I know what it is. Just have to look up the label. But also from 2025. And I see that there are a lot of seeds also left here that I didn't pick up the first time. Yesterday there were too many things happening at once. So that made it a little bit complicated to do all that. I was missing a pen to label them. These are plastic seed bags, and you can only write on them with a certain type of marker. And I'm running out of them. Need to buy new ones. These are already maybe 10, 15 years old. At least 10. And these things dry up after a while. So I need to replace them soon. I used to put the seeds in these kind of paper bags. Pergamene. In Germany, it's called pergamene. That's the German word for it. And I think they are for stamp collectors. They have the right size to put a postal stamp in it. And I think that's their original intention. They can also be used for edible stuff, that you get them in bigger sizes too. And these bags, these paper bags, have the benefit that they give off water. And if you put something in a plastic bag, in a PVC kind of bag, you will always, if you have humidity in the bag, it will rot and it will decrease the viability of the pollen. But I had to switch to these plastic bags because there were problems sending them to Australia, the plastic ones. They wanted to have something that, I don't know, they can look through, you know. They were able to inspect these plastic bags easier than the paper bags, because they had to take everything out of them to see what's in there, like Australian quarantine. And they are pretty strict. They have destroyed a lot of seed letters that I have sent to Australia, and over the years I continuously worked on the packaging and all. But yeah, it was always hard to send there. Not easy. And that was one of the reasons why I kind of stopped with selling cactus seeds. It had become too difficult long term. It was just a very complicated process, and even if you did everything right, then they could still decide that they don't want to let your letter in and destroy them. I've had that happen with seeds that were 100% permitted in all clean, intransparent bags. Australian quarantine is just pretty I mean they have an important job to do. It's important that they are doing it, because otherwise the Australians would have all these invasive plants in their unique ecosystem, you know. So I understand the need for them, but the way they do it, where they go after people who do everything right, who put in an invoice, who can verify where their seeds are from, permitted species according to the Australian quarantine list and all that, did everything right, but they still destroyed stuff from time to time. And I feel like that is a waste of tax money, where they could just, I don't know, the seeds were permitted, they were clean and all, you know, but you can just have bad luck, and the guy at the quarantine office or the guy at the customs office is just not letting them in. So yeah, it happens. I can ship within the European Union without quarantine, without customs. You can ship everywhere. The question is if the customer gets it, you know. I mean, there are very few countries where you cannot ship, and I think it's Cuba, for example, because of the embargo. Apart from that, you can, and other countries where the postal office won't deliver, but you can ship to Australia, but sometimes they just will destroy them, even if you kind of did have only permitted species, only you did everything right, you know. And within the European Union, there's no customs. You can send whatever you want, and they will probably not even open it, you know. And that greatly increases the chance that the seeds will arrive safely, you know. And when you ship internationally into the United States, it can always happen that customs will open up and look for tax money. You know, that is maybe the reason they're doing it. And also, I mean, to the United States, there are some regulations also, like in some cases, you need a future certificate, like a health certificate. But very often they don't even want that when you're sending just seeds. Live plants is a different story, but seeds are usually not that big of a problem to the United States. Australia always was the biggest risk country where everything could happen, where you had to just get ready beforehand, that you should have a replacement if something happens, and that happened a lot. That happened very, very often. That was one of the reasons I went out of the seed business. I felt like I was just packing and shipping replacements to Australia, and it isn't like these were big letters. When you send a replacement for one of these letters, it's the kind of stock that you cannot replace. That is in some cases where the seeds sold out, or when you have 100 seeds in a fruit, they were often very small fruit, and that means there are only very few seeds per cross, and so it weighs more when you have to resend something. And I always did it, or at least if the customer wanted me to. Sometimes the customers had enough with their import regulations and all, but I always offered to send a replacement to Australia, because I know they have it hard with their quarantine. I have many friends in Australia. Australia is always a special place for me, so I always try to deliver there. And even at times when I stopped doing it commercially, I still ship them as friends. You know, when a friend asked me to if they wanted to have a certain kind of cactus seed, of course that was permitted. You know, everything had to be we had to be able to correctly label it. But if I could help with something where it wasn't a problem, I always did it. You know, I got my start in the Australian cactus scene in a way, and it was very unusual because I'm a European, you know. But I just felt like I felt more home in that society, in that community. There were many very good people, and I learned a lot. I have today. I mean, I have probably the majority of the people that knew me early were Australians and a few Americans. So yeah, will always have a special place in my heart. Maybe I'll go there one day, but I'm not sure. It costs money, and I'm not the type of person who likes to fly a lot. I would fly to move to another country, that kind of stuff. But on the flying back and forth on the regular, I don't like that because my muscle problems make it so hard. It's exhausting for me, so I try to minimize that time. I would probably fly to Australia if I move there, you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I just don't like flying. I don't like when you go into a plane and you have to trust the pilot with your life, you know. I just don't like that feeling. I wouldn't. I mean, they are certainly more qualified than I am to fly that thing, you know. But it's a matter of not being able to influence your own whatever happens in your own life, you know. That is why I hate going into a plane. Whoever is flying the plane, if that's, sometimes you hear about these crazy pilots, and I just feel like, you know, I would love to, wherever I go, I try to have an influence in whether or not we go down, you know. That is why I really dislike flying. Okay, so I'm cleaning this cross here. Just gotta look for the paper where I put it. I think this is another Gräsers Erfolg cross, but I'm not sure if that is the right piece of paper, but I think it is. Yep. Okay, so this is another cross of Gräsers Erfolg and Selbstbestäubung. Okay. Yeah, that is a good cross. Gräsers Erfolg, Selbstbestäubung and Cantora Gelb. That is even better than the original mother plant. So I'm starting to get warm with the stream and everything. I enjoy it. Later today we will have a sunny day. Might be a good chance to take it outdoors. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll do it. But Kami's a little bit not in so great shape today, so we'll see. I don't know. She just isn't eating properly. She's waiting to, like, I didn't get the kind of food that she wanted, and then she just stopped eating. I feel like she just wanted to get me to get her the new food that she likes, and it's ordered, it's in the mail, but it isn't here yet. So I hope it will arrive soon, because that's, you know, the cat that we have, she's crazy sometimes. When she doesn't get the food exactly the way she wants it, then she doesn't want to eat, you know. And I mean, she eats eventually, but she waits so long until she then throws up. So yeah, I really hope that the food that she wants is coming soon. Today, hopefully. I really underestimated how difficult cats sometimes are. I mean, I love Kami. She's in our family for over 16 years now. But I always feel like, you know, that I don't know, they are unique. When she's eating plastic, or when she's the way she is about food, it's very unusual, I feel. She always wants to it's almost as if she is like autistic or something like that, you know. If she doesn't get the food the way she wants, she's making problems, and that was always the case. We always had to try 30, 40 different types of cat food until we found what she likes. So I guess at that age, she's too old to change anyway, but I will never understand it, you know, because I don't know, there's so many different types of cat food that we bought for our cat, and none was what she wanted. That is the kind of stuff with our dog. We never had that problem. We originally had a beagle, Snoopy, and he ate everything. You had to stop him from eating like stuff like cables, and you know. So Snoopy ate everything, and Mika is also. I don't think I have experienced a situation where she doesn't want to eat at all. Sometimes she doesn't like a certain type of food, and kind of waits until she really has to eat. But with cats, it's totally different, you know. I feel like that cat, it is very hard to get the right food and everything the way she wants it. I know my wife moved out, you know, but when she was still living here, I know it always kind of affected her negatively to see how difficult it is, you know, because you try to you spend like an hour looking for a new kind of cat food where you feel like it could be great, and you spend a lot of time just trying to find the right thing, and then it comes, and she doesn't even want to try it because the consistency is different than what she's used to. That is the kind of experience that I have with Kami. There were times when I seriously considered she might be autistic, but I don't know, it has gotten a lot better lately. I have just experimented with all kinds of cat food, and today it's a little bit better. But yeah, she really liked a certain type of food, and it ran out while we are waiting for the delivery. I'm sure it arrives today, tomorrow, something like that, and then she gets her food back. But until then, I mean, she can't stop eating in that time, you know. Yeah, old cats are very picky in general. Yeah, I can definitely agree. And she's so lovely, you know. I love her so much. I just want her to be all right and have everything she needs, you know. And then I have so much food in the house right now. In every room, I put a little sink for her where she can eat, and she's not really. She doesn't want that because it's not the food that ran out, you know. Kind of weird, but I just at this point I think it's part of cats in general. I don't know. Um, of course we had kind of experiences with the cat here and there, you know, but not like that. Where I had a cat for so long that I knew these kinds of little things whether they are picky eaters or not. I just sometimes think that can't be normal the way she does it, you know. If I'm not managing to find if a certain type of cat food is sold out, it won't work out with her. So yeah, it's kind of hard, you know. I just try to make it right. I want to be the best cat parent that I can be, you know. And but it's so challenging in times like this. In other times it's totally great. But yeah, these times in between when it's really hard, where I'm trying and I don't know. She's so old now, so we did everything right, I guess. But I wish it would be easier to find something she likes to eat on the regular. I like that when I see an advertising, cats in advertising in a TV spot, they're always eating, they're always happy. Yeah, hey, I got this new food. Let's try this out. I didn't have that experience at all. But maybe that's also why she has grown so old, you know. She didn't have overweight, she had the perfect weight and all. Okay. So this is the second cross with Gräsers Erfolg Selbstbestäubung Cantora from 2025. Putting my label on it, P&O. And I will be numbering it later. So Erfolg SB Cantora. So this was the left fruit. Okay, let's put this aside. Next one. I'm really happy when I'm done with all these seeds, and you know you have to do this every year. And if you don't do it, you can't put out a seed list. This is the kind of stuff that that really takes a lot of time. Just cleaning seeds, then bagging it, listing it, creating a list for them. Because you need to be able to say which cross produced which kind of hybrid. And the system that is used here, you have a short code for the breeder. In my case, it is PNO for Patrick Noll. And then you have the year where you harvested this and where you made the cross. In this case, it's 2025. And then you have the number of the crosses that you made. Like if this was the 255th cross, then that's what you would write there. Yeah, and when you later grow them from seeds, you would also label the seedling. You would write PNO1, for example, at the end of every cross, PNO2 for the second, PNO3 for the third. And that's how they are labeling these kinds of hybrids in Germany. This is the way that the Echinopsis work group does it. And yeah, it's a good way to label your seeds, because if you make the same cross a few times or similar crosses, and then you cannot tell which of the crosses has produced a certain kind of hybrid. So that means that you will never fully know which cross produced that great hybrid. So you cannot go back and try to redo it, do it again, repeat the cross. You can only do that if you know both of the plants involved. And yeah, putting in that cross number really helps. Putting in the year tells you a lot. You are able to look at the when someone posts a cross that you made, you are able to look at the number and you know instantly what year it was from. Even outsiders who look at that number can tell who the breeder was, because you also have the breeder short code in advance. Like in my case, PNO. People who from the scene know that this is a cross by me, and the number of the year and the cross number. So yeah. But that kind of system also takes a lot of time to use it, you know. You're constantly labeling. You constantly need these long labels that you can keep track of everything. Imagine you have planted something out that has a huge label, and you need to single 30 seedlings out and all need a label. It's a lot of work. At some point, it can make sense to get something like a printer for that. Maria, yeah, she likes tuna. We used to have it very often. At some point, we didn't buy it anymore because she wanted something else. But it's good that you reminded me. Maybe I will try that again. She definitely ate that for a while, pretty reliably. Yeah. I might get that again. It's a good idea. What we gave her was just pure tuna, and that worked for a while. You know, nothing works reliably all of the time. That is it. I mean, maybe it also has to do with when she has too much hair. You know, when they are cleaning themselves, they eat their own hair a little bit. Maybe that is something where she has problems a little bit every now and then, you know, when there's a time when she has ingested too many cat hair, but I'm not sure. So this is a cross with Scopolicola. Scopolicola crossed with Fast 12. That is a good cross. It's one of the best crosses in that season in regards to could produce an amazing body. That could be great. So P&O 2025. We're doing the cross number later. Yeah, it's the best. Like that German kind of labeling. It's great. But again, it also means you have a lot of bureaucracy just when making a cross already. You need to write everything down. Yeah, I mean, I'm at a point in my life where it started to really take in so much of my daily work that I kind of considered just leaving that work group. I'm in that work group. I'm a member of it, and it's a great work group with a lot of friends of mine. So I'm still thinking about it. But the way, like with all this endless labeling, it's also a lot of time that you are not able to do some work while you are just putting up a label here and there. And for every seedling, for every little thing that you do, you need to put up another label. And they are not small labels where you write one or two names. It's like this kind of size label, you know. But yeah, there are no perfect ways. It brings in a lot of work, but it's worth it when you see that, when you can trace the seedlings the way this allows you to do it. So yeah, over here, these are Sörensia seeds here. They are a little bit smaller than the seeds of Echinopsis or Trichocereus. I always can tell already when I'm cleaning seeds that the Sörensia formosa and Sörensia bruchi seeds, they are so small that they fall down through the holes of my sieve that I use to clean seeds, and they are one of the very few that are so small. And I feel like that small size in seed on Sörensia seeds, that can tell you something about the genetics of it. So you can compare the size of the seeds and can probably tell which ones have a very rough connection with each other. It isn't reliable, but I have never had a Sörensia seed Sörensia seeds that were as big as the others. So you can definitely tell something from it, you know. It must be a somewhat stable trait that you can use it for comparison, for genetic information, just for gathering genetic information about how they evolved, which species is related to which one. What is a MVS? I'm not sure what that is. No idea. But yeah, that's my opinion on Sörensia seeds. I always need to be very careful, and I realize while I'm cleaning seeds. Oh yeah, one more time. Okay. Yeah, when I'm cleaning these Sörensia seeds, I always forget what kind of a fruit I'm cleaning right now, and then I have it in the sieve, and I realize that the sieve is too big for these. And I also feel they lose viability a lot faster than the seeds on the channel. I was born in Germany. I was born in Saarland, Germany. So yeah, the viability drops very fast on these tiny seeds. There's a fly in here. Yes, because the cat always wants to go out and in. I had put the door open, and now I've been harassed by this fly here. It won't go away. Every time I'm doing a video in the last 2 days, it has been here. And I always try to show it the way outside, you know. Hey, greetings to Argentina. Great to have you here. I appreciate it. How late is it where you live, like in Argentina? Like what time? Just so I'm trying to understand all the time zones in a way that makes it makes it possible for me to kind of plan with it a little bit. But there's so many people from all kinds of different time zones in the chat that I'm just going online and hope for the best. Okay, now I cleaned these a little bit. And yeah, these are Sörensia bruchi, I think, was it. Right? Not sure. Okay, I can put this down. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of difficult with how many crosses you have to clean every year. You are basically busy cleaning all summer long. Best not to wait so long, because otherwise you have to do it on stream or something like that. So from 2025. Yeah, and if the weather is great later today, we will take the camera with outdoors and do some greenhouse maintenance. Maybe continue to take down the stuff around the greenhouse that is taking away the light. Oh yeah, I understand. Okay, yeah, it would have been the code for in that case. Yeah, in case of your name, I understand. Okay. Yeah. This year, I left the German Cactus Society. I've been a member there for a very long time, maybe 15, 20 years. They make a great journal too. They send out a monthly journal, but it was just too expensive every year. It was just at the time when the stuff with my divorce came the hardest. So I just felt like I need to save some money, and that was the easiest solution that I could come up with. Felt a little bit sorry to leave it because I've been a member so long, but I don't know. At that point, I was a member in multiple cactus organizations. I was a member in the Echinocereus work group, and I don't really grow a lot of them. I just like that genus. They are cool plants. So I joined that one too, and they made an amazing journal also. I wish I could have stayed in that one, but also it was adding up. I was having all these deductions from my account, and it was all cactus stuff. So I had to scale it a little bit back. Maybe I'm joining again at some point when I can afford it again. And it wasn't a lot of money. It was just money that bothered me, that I had to use it for this kind of stuff and not where it was urgently needed at the time. Paying for a house and stuff, insurance bills. That's where my mind was at the time. But yeah, they bring out a great cactus journal. That is really they've been doing that for 125 years or so. I'm not sure how old the German Cactus Society is, but I found copies of that journal from the 1950s, 1940s, and yeah, they've been around for very long, because a lot of these old school cactus guys came from Germany. It was just, people loved to do that at the time, just traveling around in the world. That was at a time when things weren't so easy, where you just couldn't buy a cactus here. So all the cacti that they had in their collections, they got from overseas, and that was the Wild West of cactus stuff. The stuff they did back then wouldn't fly today. So yeah, but that is the case for everything. That is the case for literally every cactus that that ever came from somewhere. You know, they all came from somewhere, because otherwise nobody would have them today. So what kind of cross is this? Oh, that is the other Isla del Sol cross from yesterday. That is great. And yeah, the size of these seeds, it's twice as big as the Sowing seeds that I've shown earlier were. They're really, really big. And you also see these seeds on Peruvianus, for example. That this kind of size, the seed size. Very similar shape too. And when I'm done with these, I mean, theoretically, I should be cleaning seeds all winter probably. I need to get back at the point where I do that every single day, because there are so many crosses still where I still have them in a bag. I need to just clean them to get them out, to start sowing them out. Okay. But this is a good cross. Really like that. Isla del Sol. The flowers were huge. When I first saw them this year, I was really surprised. Also, a similar size as the flowers of Rio miscensis, that kind of a Brigesi relative, had also big kind of flowers, also very much like Brigesi. These are all kind of related, so the flowers look very similar. Had a pretty long kind of flower. That is the thing that stood out the most to me, the length of the flower. And the fruit also looked kind of interesting. I should have taken more. I hope that I did a lot of photos with the fruit too. But at the time, I was just not really thinking about the next book or something like that, but just wanted to get the seeds to ripen fast so I can start cleaning them. These took very long. One of the latest fruits in the greenhouse to ripen. Okay. So today we bagged something like 5 or 6. Overall, I think I have maybe 200 crosses from the last season. So that's a lot of cleaning work that you always have to do as a breeder. And when you see that kind of work that goes into it, you understand why it can make sense it made sense for me to do something else with the time that it takes, you know. I was so busy cleaning everything. I was so busy with all that seed stuff that I didn't have time to do the channel appropriately the way I wanted it to do. And yeah, it shows. This is a perfect example how much time it takes to do this, because now the seeds have already been cleaned once. They've already been washed under water. Then I had to dry it, let everything dry. Need to wait a few days. Seed size can be proportional for the fruit, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to. I saw a lot of different kinds of fruits in my life, and I've seen some surprisingly big seeds in other cacti, you know, that approximately had the same size of fruit. But I'm sure it also plays a role in it. Definitely. But there are more differences than just size. Some of them are shaped differently. Some have look almost kidney shaped, while others are round. Some are glossy, others are not. You know, others are brown. And these are more blackish. There are a lot of differences that they didn't really look into enough in the past. But through genetic testing, DNA testing, I guess they were able to verify the similarities and compare it to the size of the seeds, and then see that okay, that there was something about it, you know, because the plants that had seeds that were similar, they also were connected in the genetic profile in the cladistic study that they did. Okay. When I'm done bagging all the cactus seeds, then I will try to look at. I've done videos where I've shown crosses that we did on air on the channel, and these are basically the crosses that we did on the channel all through summer. So I can go back, and if I'm missing a parent here and there, I can just look at the video, and that will tell me what the father was that I used. You always know the mother because the fruit always grows on the mother. That's the kind of plant that is called the mother, where the fruit grows on, where the flower is on, and the father is the cactus that you use as a pollen donor, where you use pollen from. Okay. Next one. Okay. Yeah. Here I already bagged it. Just was missing a fine liner yesterday. This is also Isla del Sol. Just the right fruit now. From the 2025 season. By the way, I saw that we still have a few fruits in the greenhouse. I might have to find a way to get them if I don't want to waste them. When you leave a fruit in the greenhouse over winter, you usually don't get the seeds. It's a bad thing. That is why I don't like having winter fruit, and you need to be careful. You need to find the right time when it's ripe and then take it down. I really believe that we will have to take down the fruit now, because otherwise we might lose it. We might not be able to harvest the seeds because a mouse might eat it. It's hard to completely seal the greenhouse. They will always find a way in. So maybe we will have to take down the fruit somehow, creating a little bit of space in the greenhouse to get to that fruit. Everything's already in winter storage, but every now and then there are fruit where I left them ripening because they just weren't ready at the time, and now they probably are. But due to the colder temperatures, they don't really harvest in very fast. They can take very long. Yes, there's no father written on that label. I'm not sure what it is. So just writing mystery seed. Keine Ahnung. No idea. Okay. Another one. We have no idea what it is. I think this is the one. The original one that didn't have a label on it. I really need to make sure that in the future I always carry a tag, like a pen or something like that with me, so I can instantly write down the parents. I just don't have the long-term memory anymore that I used to have. After the tick bite, my short-term memory is gone. I can write something down and I forget what I wanted to write during writing. So I really need to get me something. I need to always have a pen on me, because otherwise by the time I'm back in the house I have forgotten it. It's probably not a good thing, but it is what it is. I can't influence it. I think I'm trying to, improve it, but it's like you have a memory fog. Okay, so this is Wörlitz Cantora Gelb. I had a few of those. It's a classic kind of cross, but always good. It's the type of cross that can always produce something great. Even if it has been done 1,000 times. Okay, so what is this? Okay. KA17 56. Okay, from 2025. Okay. Yeah, so we already cleaned a few seeds here and there. That would be great. I like that. So in the next days I will work outside. I have to. So I will just randomly live stream, and we're doing stuff outdoors. I'm not sure how well I'm able to comment when I'm using something like a mower. We need to cut the grass short, because otherwise the area will be overgrown within short time. We have a few very invasive trees around, robinia trees, and we need to somehow get them cut back again. And I want to do that on the channel too, on the live stream. That allows me to do it while I and don't have to upload it. I can just let the live stream roll, and we will do that on the channel. I always wanted to do that, but very often when I have energy, there's something like a moratorium where you cannot cut trees, or where you cannot cut the brushes. So right now is the time when you can really do it over winter. So we will be busy all winter, because in the moment the next season begins, we can't do it anymore. And that is a problem that I always have, because in winter it always takes a little bit of energy to do, like, to take down trees in winter, with my messed up health, with the muscle problems and all. But we have to do it. Nobody will help us if we don't get it under control. There will be no light in the greenhouses. There will be more problems with fungal infections, and we need to cut back the vegetation. Otherwise, we cannot do this hobby. So it is absolutely necessary that I go out and do this, even if I'm not really the type of guy. When you're living a little bit off grid, you just cannot say that you aren't the type of guy. You just have to do it. So yeah, we will be outdoors in the next, maybe today, otherwise in the next days, because these robinia trees, they grow, they send their root suckers throughout the garden, sending offshoots, sending roots that really grow through half the garden before you even see them. So you have to, if you want to get rid of the tree, you have to dig out every piece of root that it has. And that is a lot of work. Hey, good morning, Dave. Just saying that we will do some outdoor work sometime soon too. It's just important. I wish I wouldn't have to do it, because it's the type of stuff that, you know, you just need. It's already a full-time job to get that garden under control here. But I can't pay someone to do it. I need to do it myself. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty sure it will be somewhat funny. Because I'm not like that kind of guy, but I have to do it. So there will be situations when I fall off a tree, maybe, I don't know, that kind of stuff. It will look great on camera. But apart from that, I hate doing it. I need to fix my chainsaw. I have a chainsaw, a Husqvarna chainsaw that I need to get working again. Because otherwise, we cannot take down the trees, and we need to take them down. And I'm not a fan of that. The way they are changing the chain on that kind of chainsaw. Next one that I'm getting has a different kind of chain mechanism. Okay. So now we have cleaned all the seeds that I had here, which is great. Yeah, I mean, maybe I have a microphone here, but it's cable, so that might not work. We'll see how it goes, you know. Maybe the live stream will just be, I mean, I might not have a lot of time to talk anyway when I'm wearing like one of these large pieces that I use to keep the vegetation low. You know, you need a pretty big kind of machine. So talking, you wouldn't understand me anyway with that thing running. It's very loud. But for the scenes where I would need a microphone, I would just stay close to the camera and do the work in front of the camera. But yeah, I would love to get a microphone too. Something that works via Bluetooth. So maybe long term that will happen. For now, I just have to make it work like this. It's a different kind of stream then, you know. Just me doing gardening work. And there's so much stuff that we need to do to keep the greenhouses accessible, free of all the vegetation that would otherwise just grow everywhere around it, grow into the greenhouses. It's really hard to get everything under control here, but we need to do it. So that will be our job in the next weeks. Before that time period ends again, where you cannot cut trees, which is soon. I think it's somewhere in spring. So yeah, a lot of work to do over winter. Now I'm trying to clean up a little bit. With all that sowing out, I don't want to lose overview. Okay, here's some seeds left. We will sow these out again next time. Getting ready to sow out another round sometime soon too. Okay, here's some seeds too. Interesting cross also. Maybe we will check some of the seedling containers now that I have aside. General questions, always happy to take them. If not, we will check on the seedlings that I have here. There are quite a few. So this goes into the trash. Okay. There's some seeds. Okay. So let me see if we can, if I can find some of the new germinations that have come up. Oops. Okay, here's one. Here's one that has germinations in it. Here's one. Here's one. Nice. Okay, and here's some more. I always try to go through them very fast, find them when they come up, and then move them under the plant lamp, because if you leave them in front of the oven for too long, you will eventually lose them again because of the heat. A lot of heat is great when you want to induce germination, but once it really is in motion, you want to avoid overheating them, because they are so sensitive. You can lose them because of so many different things. I'm really bothered by that fly here. Okay, so here we have 3 new containers that all go under the lamp. Also, everything looking great so far. I mean, we either had seeds not come up at all or germinating in huge amounts. And here's a fungus gnat in the bag, which and when I say 1, I say 5, 6. That is really bad. That is really bad. So next time we will get a different soil, because this one was already contaminated. Because otherwise we would not have used it. I always use the soil as fresh as possible, and you can only avoid that risk to have that by pasteurization, using hot water, and then you might be able on just the soil before using it. Before, you have to let it cool down again. But the moment you have pasteurized it with water, boiling water, you can then, like, you don't have the risk of having fungus gnats in the soil. They are just terrible. Yeah. Hey, Dave. Yeah, I mean, where I live, I could collect a lot of wood for the fire, but you would have to take down really big trees. So, and these trees that we have here, some of them, like these big oak trees in the background, sometimes they are needed in summer when it's so hot that you can barely make it. That it is great to have wood in winter, but it's also important to have trees in whose shadow you can work in summer. So yeah, more seedlings here. With all the fungus gnats flying around, I try not to leave them open longer than just a few seconds. Okay, so here, seedlings that have come up. Over here we have a few. Over here we have some. These will all go under the lamp now. So in the beginning I was a little bit unhappy about the germination rate, but now it's looking much better. But these also have come up in different cycles. We've started 1 week and then we did more the other week, so some of them still need a little bit longer in front of the heat source. Yeah, the rest need a little bit longer. I assumed this was the side that was pressing against the oven. So these have come up first. So now I will turn it around into the other direction and put these besides the wood oven. That will hopefully bring them up. Nice, I dropped one. I love when you do that. Okay, so here's one that I dropped. And that can happen, that you drop a seedling container, and in that case you probably have to do something to make sure that the seedlings aren't below the soil. We're doing that now. Oh yeah, they look terrible. I'm not sure what happened here. They kind of look a little bit like Kami slept on them again. And that could really be the case. I'm not sure. But it really looks like Kami slept on them. These look really bad. I don't think these can be saved. Every now and then I check on my seedlings and I find that they have been completely flat, and that is usually when I know that Kami has slept on them, and that happens a lot. I'm really I'm used to it by now, you know. I always know when I see seedlings lying flat on the ground, pressed a little bit, then it's then it was Kami. Yeah, white fungus, like that is called cobweb, I think. It's a cobweb fungus, and when that happens, you should probably open everything up instantly. If you have that kind of cobweb mold that covers everything within short time, there's no chance to do much. I mean, people use a disinfectant, something like that, but I would just open it up, let everything dry completely, really completely, and then maybe try cleaning it again, or maybe try with a disinfectant. But if you have an active cobweb in a closed bag, there's not a lot you can do. So I would just open it up, let everything dry out, and start again. That works, especially when the germination hasn't happened yet. Very often when you get a cobweb mold, it happens in the first days. It happens very fast, and that gives you the chance to do something before the seedlings come up. So yeah, if you see cobweb, any kind of mold inside the container, try to remove it. If it can be removed locally, do that. And if not, then you probably have to open everything up, let it dry, and try again later. Okay, so let me wrap together the package. The book that that was ordered. Always happy when someone orders one of my books, because they are great. I love them. Was probably one of the best things I did. But yeah, the book printing business is expensive. Costs a lot of money to print books. I wish we could continue doing it, but unless we find a way to fund the printing, this is it for a while. So yeah. Okay. Okay. So now I want to move these under the lamp, and then we'll see what we do. Maybe we're checking a few of the seedlings again. If not, I still have some seeds that I want to clean. And if general questions come in, I'm happy to answer. Whatever, we're going wherever this thing leads. Yeah, but we're getting to a point when we are running out of space to sow out. So maybe we'll have to slow down a little with the sowing out because we have no more space under the lamp otherwise. Yeah, but we'll see. Maybe I can put another shelf besides it that we can grow more seedlings. Yes, mate. Talk soon. I think I will be in the stream for another 20 minutes or so. My mother keeps messaging me, and she always knows that I'm in the stream. I always tell her that I'm not, that I can't go on the phone, but she does it. She always does it. It's normal. I'm used to it. So yeah, but for half an hour, maybe, I'm still here. I just need to get another copy of the second book so I can stamp it. Oh man, need to open it up. Okay, got a copy of the second book that I did, and yeah, I just want to stamp it and sign it so I can put that aside too. I wasn't sure what kind of a book the customer ordered, so I packed one of both so I have them ready when I need them, because they have to be stamped and the stamping takes so much time. And I can tell you, I will never, the next book that I make, it will not be stamped. I can tell you that. That is one of the dumbest decisions that I ever made. You know, sometimes you do this stuff without thinking. And yeah, that was the case when I decided to stamp all the books that we send out. I spent, like, when I was packing the books that we crowdfunded, after the crowdfunding, after we got our delivery, I spent a couple weeks just stamping and signing books. It was so time consuming, but it was also great. You know, I mean, of course you feel honored that you can sign a book, and yeah, but you forget how much work it creates long term. Every time I'm sending out a new book, I take that thing, go through it, look for problems, stamp it, sign it, number it. That is something that's really, really a lot of work. But yeah, I was also very proud to ship that book out, so I like that. Can you talk a little bit about your books? Yes, these are Cactus books. Like I said, in the first volume, we did these over a crowdfunding platform called Indiegogo. Both of them. And the first one is about botanical species, 20 different botanical Trichocereus species. And the other one was about hybrids. A lot of photos about flowers and that kind of stuff, you know. But yeah, also botanicals and really a lot of common cultivars that are around. I'm very happy about both books. You know, it has these kinds of flower photos in it, and I'm really proud of both the books we did. But yeah, the printing costs are so expensive, so we had to crowdfund them. And by the second book, we ran in trouble over the names of the book. Like, they just didn't like that kind of genus, you know, these kinds of species. So yeah, but I'm eternally proud for the books that we made. The next one, I've been working on a book about the genus Sorensia, and it's pretty far along. I could publish it in the future if we manage to come up with the printing costs. I might be able to actually fund the printing, you know. we might print another edition of maybe 1,000 books, 500 or 1,000 books. That was the edition that we had with the first one. First and the second, I mean, the second one, we did different versions, different cover versions. And yeah, it's all about the kind of cacti that you see in my videos. I mean, the first one, like I said, is a little bit focused on the botanical species, just white flowers, the classic, the way they are in nature, with description, original description, and information how to identify them in the field. And the other book has a lot of hybrid stuff, more about pollination and cleaning seeds and how to induce flowering. Stuff like that is in the second book. And yeah, the next one in the future, I will move a little bit away from this kind of group of plants. The next ebooks that I do will probably be more general, like cactus growing in general. But right now, I just don't have I'm in a part of my life where I've spent so much time with Mika and Kami because they need me now, because my wife moved out, you know. I mean, I need to be there for them, so I don't get as much time to write as I used to. In the past, I often spent a couple hours a day just writing, and right now I'm either outside in the greenhouses. In summer, I'm outdoors all the time filming, and in winter, right now, I spend so much of my time caring for Mika and Kami and filming here, streaming. It gets harder every day to write, but at some point I want to get back to it when the channel has grown, when it allows me to just push a project that we want to do through, where I say, okay, we could do this book if we can afford the printing costs, maybe like that, you know. But at the moment, I wasn't at that point yet. So hey, good morning. The books, by the way, I mean, they are a little bit more expensive. They cost something like $75, and it is because they are so big. They are big A4, all color. Then there aren't just photos in it, so there's also text that is in black and white, but it's the kind of paper that's all color. And all the books that I do are photo heavy. And yeah, lot of photos. That's the way I wanted it. They are more like a bigger coffee table kind of book. And yeah, that was we could only print them because we were able to crowdfund them, and it was just luck. It was actually a miracle that we were able to fund the printing. So they weren't as cheap as I wanted them to be. But yeah, and the shipping costs also add to the price. Unfortunately, I wish I could put the price down. So if we will at some point make them available as ebooks too, but they need a little bit of editing work that I also need to find the time for. I will. I've already started, but it will take a little bit longer until they are available as an ebook. And in my opinion, it's great to have them in a printed form, because it's just a beautiful book that you can hold in your hand and just look at the photos and use them for identifying. And we made something like not really keys to identify, but we made these short lists of traits that you can use to distinguish between different species in the first book. And yeah, second book is more focused on common cultivars, and we wanted to do maybe 500 pages. In the end, we were only able to afford 300, so it wasn't possible to put them all in, all the ones that we wanted into the book. But we got like pretty close. Like with the 300 pages, it was luck that we were able to print it in the first place. Yeah, and I will always be proud of these books. It was a great thing that we did, and I hope at some point I can get back to it. It is a fun hobby. It is a fun thing. When you hold something in your hands that you wrote, but it takes a couple of years to write one of these books. And right now, that's a lot of time that you spend when you are not sure if you can even print it, you know. And right now, that was the case with the Sørensia book that I did. I would have to, in order to do it, I would have to take pre-orders, and I would have to take the pre-orders to fund the printing costs. And in that case, there would be maybe 6 months between the order and the delivery of the book. And that can sometimes, customers can get nervous during that time. I've seen it with both of the first books that we did. And we did those over crowdfunding. So there was a little bit more security that you could take the time to do it right, you know. But the longer you take with crowdfunding, the more people will message you and tell you, hey man, move along, I want my book, you know. And when you do that with pre-orders, it can be more difficult, you know, because then you just paid for the printing, and it will take another 3 months for the books to be here. But the customer doesn't want to wait anymore, so they do a chargeback, something like that, you know. And when you are in my position right now, you can't really you have spent the money for the printing, you know. So doing it with pre-orders is a little bit more risky than just doing it with a crowdfunding campaign. So maybe we'll see how we do it, if we ever do it again. But my hope is that the channel just grows big enough so we can at some point just push the whatever we want to do through, whether we want to do, I don't know, a documentary, whatever we want to do, you know. Like that, I can imagine a lot of things that a community can come up with around this amazing hobby, you know. So growing the channel first was my priority before I wanted to continue with any kind of book. I now have 3. There's a free ebook on my website. Like I said, you can just download it. It's pretty big. You can get it at trichotzerois.net. That is the page that I built before building other stuff like the cactusjerk page. And yeah, you can download that ebook there, and it's great in my opinion. We could have as well printed it, but I wasn't in a position where I could just pay the 3K to print the book, you know, even if we had done it in black and white. So I decided we will put it out as an ebook. I always wanted to experiment because ebooks also get new people interested in whatever you do. So you might give away a whole book, but people will share it, will send it to their friends, will read it on a regular basis, and they will get to know you as a person, as a creator, and later support you again if you ever do another print book, you know. So that is why I also felt like putting out that third book for free would be a good way. And I was doing not so well with my health, so I wanted to have it out in case something happened to me. But yeah, get it on the website. You can just download it. I had it in the newsletter for a while, but now you can just freely access the download and get it. So yeah, if you have any more questions, write them in the comments. If not, I will probably end the chat soon. I want to get the package to the mailbox soon, so when DHL comes to pick the stuff up, I have the order down there. In this case, it was 1 book that was ordered, either from the first or the second book. I think it was the second book, the more I think about it. So yeah, and the shipping time isn't so fast when I ship something out. These days I do 1 or 2 shipping days a month, but it's always insured. It's always with DHL. I can always trace something if something is missing, you know. And money isn't really my priority, you know. I mean, of course it helps to stay afloat, but it isn't really. I would rather make no, don't have any earn no money, than let the customer be without a book that got lost on the way. If every time I had to reship an order, I did it, and I was happy to do it, because that is the type of person that I am. So yeah. Yeah, look, with the cacti, you grow into it, you know. You just get more experienced over the years, over time. And I wasn't an expert when I started either, you know. It just became what it is today. And I didn't even call me an expert for a very long time, and now I'm at a point when I really know what I'm talking about, when I provide some kind of context under a post, when someone asks about an ID on social media, wherever it is. I'm usually pretty close to nailing it down now, and only after many years. It just takes a lot of time. You need to see a lot of different kind of plants, and you need to know how the plants look like in different stages to know to really reliably identify them. And a lot of people, they are great at identifying one species or two species, but the moment something is a little bit unusual, they would call it a hybrid, because calling something a hybrid during identification is an easy way to avoid any kind of discussion, you know. If something doesn't work with the description, you just say it's a hybrid. So yeah, it has taken time for me to learn this, to be good at what I do. So yeah. Hey everyone. Hey Andrea. Good morning. We're just getting close to the end here. So yeah, but I've been packing books, packing and signing books. I've been packing seeds. We've checked on a few containers, a few seedling containers. Got a lot of stuff done, and later I will probably work outside, maybe today or in the next days. But the sun is, today we will get a sunny day, so it might be a great chance to film a little bit outdoors, just so we can reduce that jungle that we have besides the greenhouses. We need to take a lot of stuff down. Maybe try getting the chainsaw to start. That would be a great thing. I haven't started that thing over winter, like since the summer. So maybe the chainsaw won't even start. We will have to try it out. So yeah, but I'll do another stream sometime like later. But yeah, if you have a question, happy to answer. If not, I'll do another stream sometime soon. But yeah, I have this weed whacker that I wanna use. I think weed whacker is the right word for it. It's like one of these big motor kind of seed. I don't know how it's called, like just to cut grass and that stuff. So we will use that a little. That one's from Husqvarna too, and in that case, it's great. I like that. Yeah, thank you. I'm not sure if I feel so well, but thank you. It's great to know that I'm looking better, you know. I mean, I really think the beard suits me well, and I also put in a little bit more light to film the videos. So yeah, I always try to start around maybe 9:30, 10 in the morning, Berlin time. Hey mate, thank you because of the t-shirt. I'm really proud to have that. That is one of the shirts where I was really happy that I bought it. Because they have become so expensive today. I also had a lot of old, like the original, the first shirts and all. But I sold a few. I regret that I did it, but I had to pay for stuff like heating, you know? So I sold a bunch of my old vintage shirts, but this is one of the best that I still have, and I will not sell it. It would be one of the last pieces of clothing that I would sell, this shirt. So yeah, I just love all these heavy metal kind of stuff, you know, heavy metal shirts also. But also other vintage kind of clothes. it's not just the music. I like everything that came out between the 90s and 2000s, maybe the 80s. There's some good stuff. Thank you, Andrea. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm trying. I'm learning how to use the chat and how to use the stream. And yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. It's just part of my day every day that that is fun. You know, you get to have a discussion, and you never know what kind of a discussion you are going to have, and I enjoy that. Just, you know, people who watch my videos, I owe everything to them, so I'm also happy to spend a little bit of my time every day to just have a chat, you know. And we'll see where it grows. Every time I do the stream, the channel grows, and that is great for us. I really need the page to grow, because otherwise it will be hard to do another season after the next. So I'm just trying to, this year, I'm doing everything that I can to make this thing what I believe it can be. I believe in this channel, you know. I believe that if the right people watch this, they will see it too, you know. We are very close to actually reaching a wider audience, mainstream audience. A lot of the stuff is starting to go viral, and I know one video can be enough, and everything is picking up. And I know that if someone watches what we do on channel, being it in summer or in winter, they will see the heart of the channel, and they will see the strength that is inside this channel. And so yeah, I'm pretty optimistic that whatever we do here, it will grow fast. We will do this, you know. Yeah, I mean, I try to, I don't know what, when I look at the world right now, when I look on social media, I don't find a lot of wholesomeness, and I mean, I have to seek it out. I try to be positive and try to be kind, you know. And I feel it has become more difficult to do that in the world right now. I don't want to say that the world has become worse. I just want to say that if you look on the internet, you see so much ugliness now, right now, worldwide. I mean, politics has become so ugly, and I try to have a place that is a little bit outside of that. I mean, I can never stay quiet on things that matter to me, like trying to make life easier for us, for people, and that these kinds of opinions, you know. I believe in using tax money to do good in the interest of the people, you know, because we are paying the taxes. So I believe in that, but I don't want to be caught up in this current wave of hostility where people are against each other. I don't want that on my channel. And when I go on a video, I try not to have a divide. Even if I have a conversation with someone from the other side of the political spectrum, I want to be able to have a discussion, you know, just be able to say, okay, but how can we solve the problem if we are not doing this or that? And that's what I'm aiming for with the channel also. I mean, it is a cactus channel, it's a gardening channel, but I also believe that you can have a channel that also shows about who you are, who the person behind it is. And I believe in my case, it is probably the best what I have going for me. I will never be the best at gardening. I will never be the best at, maybe, you know, with flower videos, you know, I'm very good at what I do. But I'm self-taught. A lot of the stuff that I do is low budget, really low budget, because I was poor for a long part of my life. So I learned how to stand out by being who I am, and I have no filter. That is who I am, on offline and online, and that can be a problem too, because sometimes, you know, I say that stuff that comes back to haunt me later, like when I'm doing that kind of a goofy kind of comment that I meant as a joke, but people take it too serious. You know, today a lot of people take everything for face value. So yeah, but I just have no filter, and that is a good thing sometimes, you know. Thank you. You know, you have to be. I believe you do not have to be the best at what you do. If you look at social media, at the social media landscape, this becomes obvious, you know, because if only the best people would be successful, then we would just see all this great stuff. But we also see videos by people that are just, I don't know, that have no real uh, reason to be online apart from the fact that they are who they are. They something about them makes them interesting when they talk, when they are online, when they give their opinion about something. And I believe in this kind of stuff, these kinds of little things that where you see that someone is unique in a way, and it makes you it instantly makes you interested in. I'm instantly getting interested in someone when I feel he just said something that was so unique that I haven't heard it before, that it was something that led me to see life a little bit differently, you know. And when I look when I watch entertainment, that is one of the few things that I still watch. I watch a lot of interviews today, just by interesting people. I don't like the music, but I found Frank Zappa to be an interesting guy, and that man was lived long before my time, you know. But I found a lot of interviews afterwards that I found interesting, you know, or people like Anthony Bourdain. I found very interesting as a person, and I'm a big fan of how he did that kind of kitchen show, kitchen confidential, whatever. Also, while being himself on camera, you know. And if we ever get the funds to do a cactus show, like a real, like a gardening show where I have a camera with me, then we would do something in that style. That is the plan, 100%, to just be like authentic on camera and do the gardening. Like, also, you know, you're like Top Gear. When you watch Top Gear, a lot of people like what Clarkson does. Yeah, I mean, he's a you know, about him personally, I'm not a fan of everything he said, you know. I really need to stress that. I just mean it in the way that the way they are doing Top Gear, also by being themselves, by just giving interesting kind of point of view. I find that a lot more interesting than just watching a video of a flower, or where you just say, okay, this is that kind of a hybrid, and it is has these kind of parents. You are basically elevating whatever you do by being yourself. And I believe in that. I really do. There's so many people who succeeded in life just because they were so unique. You know, like the crocodile hunter. These kinds of interesting characters that we want to see. So yeah, in the future I will try to combine that with the channel, with the flower stuff. And I know it isn't easy. It isn't easy because I'm also doing the camera work. I need everything I film, I need to be behind the camera and in front of the camera. And that is the first thing that I would change if we, at some point, by luck, get a higher budget, pay someone to film, let the camera roll while I'm trying to take that tree down that I cannot do, that I'm totally unqualified to do. These kinds of things, you know. But yeah, that is what I want to do on the channel long term. Yeah, Steve Irwin, exactly. I was a big fan, always a fan, and yeah, I have a T-shirt that I will always treasure. And he's very missed, you know. But you see, these are people that are missed also, and that was always my hope in the way I do stuff today. You will not find me online on Facebook having these political arguments or just attacking someone for whatever reason. I mean, there has to be a way to be influential, to do what you do without going down on a level that just sucks the joy out of everything, that just takes away the message that you want to give. And everything I do in the last years, it wasn't always like that, but I have learned how important it is for me to be kind, you know, to just have a presence where people like, you know. It was more important for me to be rich. It was more important for me to be liked than to be rich. I always, of course, it would be better to if I would do stuff more influencer like. There would be so many more ways to use the immense viral reach that we have. But I mean, then you are gone, and people, they will never talk about you again. You know, you will have earned a little bit of money, but every time you watch your video, every time you see yourself online or you see your timeline online, you are disappointed in yourself, and it might not even be, you might not even notice it. It might be subconscious, you know. And I just feel like I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in a situation where might earn a lot of money, but I have kind of betrayed every moral, every kind of integrity that I once had, you know. So I try to do it both. I mean, there must be a way to do this, to be authentic, and also, you know, fund the channel. And I'm sure we can do it long term. We just need to. In the beginning, it's always hard, and this has been 8 years to grow it to this point. And it will probably take a few more, maybe a couple of years longer, but we will get there. If not, I might post more on Reddit too in the future. We'll see. I believe that the type of videos that I post, they could do very well on Reddit. But I'm not sure on what subreddit. There are all these different kind of subreddits, and in the past, I also had negative experiences with Reddit. I mean, we have a great community on Reddit, and I use Reddit personally because I like the platform. But some subreddits have been completely trashy. Like when I originally posted flowers on the pics, on that pics photo subreddit, it's been like the moderation has been the worst of the worst that I have ever seen. And I say that as someone who moderated forums in 2000 already, you know. So I will have to look at all the different subreddits that are there and pick the one where my stuff would be great, you know. So yeah, but we will grow. We will get there, guys. I know it. Thank you, Andrea. I appreciate it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I guess we will end the stream now. Just wanted to say thank you for being here every day. I appreciate it. And even if you miss days, it doesn't matter, you know, because I know when you will be back. You know, this is fun. I enjoy this, so we will do it again. I'll be back tomorrow morning and maybe even later today. We'll see how that goes. I need to charge the phone again now. And then I will maybe stream later from the garden. So yeah, thank you. And thumbs up, Dave. Greetings to you too. We'll talk again later. I appreciate you being here. Thank you.